Welcome to the new episode of the CAP Podcast, Consumer Ammunition Tactics Podcast. I got a special guest in the building. I got Deprecia Sutter. I'm gonna read her bio. We're gonna get straight into it. So she says that her goal is to break generational curses while creating generational wealth through simple education that's not taught in schools. She's a wealth educator who aids people in having negative items removed off of their credit reports, building and establishing excellent credit so they could buy homes, vehicles, etc. Her main line is she does not care if you played a game with or without a coach. You just have to play. There's a lot of exclamation points. Doing nothing gets you nowhere. Welcome to the podcast, Deprecia. How you feeling?
I'm feeling awesome. How are you doing
Good,
today?
good, good. I'm blessed. I'm blessed, highly favored, the
Love
whole
it.
nine. Yeah, definitely, definitely. So I want to start off just by talking about how you actually got into the credit game. If you want to give us a little bit of background, did you grow up talking about credit? Is it something you discovered on your own? You know what I'm saying? Let's get into that.
No, actually, so my name's Deprecia Sutter. I'm born and
Yeah.
raised in Oklahoma City. To be honest, never thought that this would be something I would be even interested in. My
Okay.
background was I have a bachelor of science in kinesiology. I wanted to be in the medical field and I was just going further and further in school. But honestly, I had what we would say is a great paying job. And
Mm,
what happened is I did not know how to manage money. I lived paycheck to paycheck, and everybody always told me pretty much shut up because I was making more than them. So
oh man.
I realized just because I want more, I can have more, and I shouldn't allow people to speak their limitations on me. So this
Amen.
opportunity came around to me. I have a mentor that, really taught me the game. But when the opportunity came to me, what made me have so much of a wealth of knowledge is because I dug and dug because I needed it. It wasn't everybody else first. I needed it. And once you learn and you could teach it, it's a whole nother ball game.
Definitely,
So yeah.
definitely. Okay, definitely, definitely. I know one big thing that we talked about was the fact that a lot of people they don't think about the fact of just the simple things like budgeting, like the
Mhm.
basics. Because some people they'll fix their credit and then they're gonna mess it up again because they don't keep up with the fact of, oh, I shouldn't continue getting late
Mhm.
payments. I shouldn't budget. Can we talk about the importance of budgeting and things like that when it comes to credit repair?
So one thing about credit repair is no matter if you get everything deleted, credit repair is two portions. It's the litigation, so getting things removed off the credit report, but it's also building. But what I feel like people tend to kind of forget is if you don't actively make a budget, pay down your debt, keep your utilization down, you're going to be in the same place you was 6 months ago.
Or
So
worse?
once you get all right, so once you get all those items removed, why did you get there? Was it because you made a late payment? Was it because the car got repo? Was it because you didn't have enough money? And enough money comes to budgeting. And budgeting, it seems like an easy word, right? But if it
Yeah.
was that easy, why is there so many people in debt?
Mm,
Why is there so many
facts.
people in debt if it's that easy? So my goal is to make you fall in love with that ugly word budgeting
Oh
because
man.
at the end of the day, what is going to come out of it? You're going to learn you're overspending or you're not making enough. And what comes after that? Action.
Mm,
So once you create that action, then you don't fall in that rabbit hole of, okay, I popped a tire. Now I can't pay off this credit card. Now I can't send money to my kids for lunch. Like you don't have to keep on going through that cycle if you actually create a plan. So
definitely.
saving, here's a statistic, and I hope everybody vow for this to not be them.
All right.
It is predicted that there are 64% of Americans are going to retire with less than $10,000 in their retirement savings. It's crazy,
Crazy.
right?
Yeah.
You okay with living with $10,000 once you retire?
All right, man. Nah.
That's why so many people, after they retire, they're going straight back to work. So once
That's
you say that's not me, once you say I'm not going to be that person looking rich today to be broke tomorrow,
mhm.
then once again, me and you can actually make a plan. So once you get the results you want, you're still on track to continue to reach all your goals and you don't fall behind. Or at least you know what
Definitely.
to do if you do fall behind.
Yeah, definitely, definitely. So one thing I'm noticing just about, the way you talk and stuff, I feel like you got a really good mindset. So I don't know like where you was it like from mentors and stuff like that? Because I always like to say that the person that believes that they can't do something, the person that believes that they can do something, both people are correct. You know what I'm saying? So it's about how you think about it. So are there like different books? Was it mentorship? How'd you get the mindset that you have?
Um, I would say number one, like, where I grew up, like my parents,
Okay.
I'm a firm believer that your parents' ceiling should be your floor. And you look around yourself, and if you want more for you, but you want more for your family. And so with me, like, I didn't say this in the beginning, but how I really, really got into it had nothing to do with the money. It simply
Mm,
had to do because I didn't have the time to be there with my ill mom. So like, if you see her, her health is so up and down, but at the end of the day, when it's down, it's bad. So she had a stroke, she couldn't walk, she couldn't talk, she couldn't move.
oh wow.
I could not be there with my mom because of work. And so as I dug, once again, I told you I dug for me to learn from me, but also to have that freedom to be with my family with those important moments. I started getting pissed off.
Hmm.
So I really hate saying this, but I feel like that's where my energy comes from. It's
Hmm.
because the more mad I got and start realizing the world's a business. So at the end of the day, you're going to be a winning side or losing side. But
Yeah.
ultimately, like we have all the resources to succeed. It's just no one's educating us, no one's showing us. So the more I got pissed off that you guys can do it, you guys definitely have it. It made me more passionate about it. And then on top
Mm,
of that, like I had 24, 22, 24, yeah, negative items on my credit when I first started my credit journey.
yeah.
Every client I've had, I have less than five thus far. So it's only four people so far that had more than me. And
Mm,
all of my negative items came as a child. So that
wow.
is who's being attacked is the youth. So
Yeah.
outside of, yes, I work with adults all the time, but I do educate at the library too and talk to the kids because I don't want them to mess up and let the world really take advantage of them. So right when they get out in the world, they're already, screwed from the beginning. So
Gotcha.
mentorship definitely was a big part, but I think for me, it was just me getting upset. And I'm not a mom, but I'm so motherly, and I just want to save everybody.
I feel that. Mm, I feel that. You say you educate at the libraries? Where are you educating at?
So the
Like local
downtown
libraries or
library.
something?
So once a month,
Okay.
I alternate. So 1 month is actually talk to adults about, the home buying process. And sometimes I get a realtor to walk in and stuff to kind of give, more of an insight of it and talk about
Gotcha.
budgeting, saving, kind of what you need to do. Because ultimately, yes, you need to build your score up, but are you going to have money for that down payment?
Yeah.
Do you know what resources are out there and what do you need to do?
Hmm.
And so we kind of talk about that. We talk about credit cards and,
Hmm.
I won't say cons to it, but just like the knowledge that's not taught to us when it comes to credit cards.
Yeah.
And then the kids really just what's going to happen when you step foot into college? There's going to be a bank over here, a bank over here. Oh, you want a debit card? You want a credit card? So really just like what you're going to see and what you need to do so you're not that person drowning in student loans once you leave.
So you don't get finessed, basically. Okay, yeah, no,
Yeah.
I feel that. I feel that. So one thing I was thinking about too is I know there's a common misconception. People think like, oh, if you're a high income earner, then you should be able to budget well. But I know that let's say someone has like they make like $500,000 a year versus
Uh-huh.
someone that knows how to manage their $50,000. Do you deal with high income and low income people and you're seeing some of the same factors going on?
In a sense, I won't say people are people. So I won't say
Yeah.
someone with more money is not
Okay.
struggling versus somebody that has less than what they have. Because at the end
Definitely.
of the day, what's the opposite of rich? I want you to answer that question for me. What's the opposite of rich?
The opposite of rich. Is there a trick question?
Kind of.
'Cause
But just
the
just answer it. Just how if someone said, what's the opposite of rich? What you gonna say? Come on, stop thinking.
passing over opportunities repeatedly. Poor.
I actually disagree with you.
What is
The
it?
opposite of rich
Is
isn't
it
poor,
broke?
it's mismanagement of money.
Okay, that's what's up.
So
Okay.
when we
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
about the
I
two
get what you're saying.
income earners, yeah. So when we talk about the two
Yeah.
income earners, you can make so much and have everything and not have extra money to invest. You not have extra money for rainy days because when it comes to budgeting, the main thing you need to do with budgeting is create a deficit because
Hmm.
most people don't have a savings account and we know it's going to rain. Are you going to have an umbrella for it? You may pop a tire. Are you going to have money on the side? So when those things happen, you're fine because what happens is you create a budget for you. So all my mothers, fathers out there, are you creating a budget just for you, or are you putting money on the side when your child wants some money for school?
Mm,
So
yeah,
money just flies away. So I don't really
definitely.
say the two sides mean something. You know, the only difference, they probably have more just because they're the job they chose or the business they have. But I guarantee you, the more money you make, the more you spend.
Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's why I always tell people like it's more so about like managing the amount of money you have